So let's continue looking at the others.
Here's another portrait of a Dutchman wearing a flat lace collar with his nice tassels. Here we have another scene which is very Italian looking, even though it's Dutch. A lot of Dutch painters painted in the Italian style, and just showing like a village scene. Here we have a portrait of a woman painted on copper. Very interesting because they painted on copper, they painted on wood, and they painted on canvas in the 17th century, especially in Holland. We can skip a few, but we have like a portrait of, a seascape, and a wonderful portrait of a Dutchman on panel. Here we have a lady holding a book, and here we have a nice country scene. Some of these paintings are signed, but I have no idea who the artist could be.
Is this down on canvas or it looks like panel?
This is on panel. It's in 3 sections, as you can see. Very good. It could use a good cleaning, and once they're cleaned, all the bright colors of the trees and the clouds, they show up really nice.
Do you know when they do them on panel like that, how do they glue them, or is just the frame holding it?
No, they are glued together. Yes, they had horse glue, which would hold them together pretty good. And we have a few other paintings, more portraits in the collection. A lot of people I can identify. We have one of a cow, which is very interesting on panel.
Was that a royal cow?
Oh, who knows? Let me see. He's got a royal bell. Here we have sheep. We have a man on horse blowing a horn, which children could relate to. And some other portraits in the collection, which are quite interesting.
This is a beautiful collection, and I urge you, if you're an avid collector of antiques or art, to come and visit Snug Harbor. And now let's continue here.
Here we have a nice village scene, quite large. As you can see, again, it needs a cleaning, but a wonderful painting. Here we have a nice village scene with people dancing, playing music, which is very interesting. And the colors, as you can see, this was just cleaned. So look how the colors are very vivid and bright.
When you pick out these frames, do you pick them out yourself, or does someone else help you pick them out according to the paintings? Or is this your taste?
Well, I never bought any of the frames. These are the frames that came with the paintings when I bought them. So I never had to invest in any frames. If it was up to me, they'd all have the same frame. Here's a very interesting painting. It's Rebecca at the Well. It's signed by Jacob Pinus and dated 1610. And he was an artist who painted biblical subjects taken from the Bible. Here's a nice seascape on panel, Dutch. And it tells you, from looking at it, that there's a storm coming. And as you can see from the waves rippling up. And a wonderful still life of flowers, which is very interesting. It needs a cleaning, but it's still very, very vibrant. And a Dutchman smoking a pipe.
Very nice looking Dutchman, I say.
Oh, give me horrors at night. Another village scene. We have a man by Jan Steen pouring liquid into a goblet. And another beautiful country scene with a beautiful big oak tree. And here's another landscape. This one is signed by Hobbema, who was a well-known Dutch painter. And a portrait of a woman dated 1650, painted on wood.
Has this been the first exhibit you've ever had?
Well, I've done quite a few exhibits, mostly with chairs, and I loaned different things from the collection to different museums. But the bulk of my collection, this is the first time I've ever done something like this. It's a pleasure to share with the public.
That's wonderful. It's extremely nice of you.
This is a beautiful portrait. As you can see, it was just cleaned. When I did a TV show doing the home show, I purchased it at William Doyle Galleries. And it's a very elegant portrait, a man holding gloves, and that beautiful lace work. And you can see how elegantly it's painted from a well-known Dutch painter.
There's nothing more fantastic than an oil painting.
Yes. Here's one by Ravenstein, who was a well-known painter in the early 1600s, painted on wood. And these collars must have been awfully uncomfortable and warm. But the delicacy of that paintbrush, you could see the delicacy of that color. And here's a portrait of Nicholas Roelcox, who was a burgomaster of Antwerp, and this is probably from the school of Rubens, or maybe by Peter Paul Rubens himself, painted on wood. And a few more portraits in the collection. Some I can't identify, which is sorry to say, but very interesting enough. Here is a, young man who kind of looks like a bishop or clergy, and he's Dutch. And my latest portrait of a man they say looks like me, which is Dutch.
That's just what I was going to say. Are you part Dutch?
I am, as a matter of fact. And he's probably a long-lost relative from the early 1600s.
He looks like an uncle.
Probably. But he looks like me, is right. And that's the bulk of the collection of the artwork.
Well, well, there you have it, the George Way collection, and I hope that you'll come visit Snug Harbor so you can see it and feel it yourself. Thank you so much for being on
Well,
the Antique Trader,
thank you. Thank you for having
and
me.
I hope that you could come visit again.
I'd love to. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
My
much.
pleasure.
It's amazing that in these buildings they used to harbor sailors that had no homes. And look at what it's turned into. The greatest thing we've ever had, a museum to hold the most wonderful and magnificent collection of the 17th century that you've ever seen. So I really urge you to come and visit and enjoy this collection. Feel how real 300 years ago. Bring those memories back. But the George Way collection can bring you all the way back to the 16th and 17th century. Thank you for watching.